wanted to thank you
Yeah.
for taking time to speak with me today.
Sorry?
I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Of course. Thank you for reaching out.
I wanted to ask you about the recording process for Reaper
Hmm?
Dawn. How
Yeah.
long did it take to put the material together for you?
Uh, Not that long, actually. I started right after the last album, Moribund. I just was on a writing spree, so I just kept on writing. And by the end of the summer of 2022, all songs were ready. And I think I wrote for about 3 or 4 months or something like that. So this recording is actually earlier, or these songs are made earlier than the new Necrophobic album that was released first. You know,
Mhm.
I also play Necrophobic. So really this album is written before that one. But then we were waiting for the right record deal to come along, and that took a while. So that's why it's not released until now.
Ah,
But it was an intense, very intense period. It was just like the album shaped itself. You know, usually when I'm really happy with the music, it's when I do not try. It's when it just
right.
comes to me, it just flows, and I just try to channel all the influences and all the visions and all the voices that gets down. I just take my guitar and try to make sense of what I feel. And this album was actually um, quite a pleasure to do in that way.
And my favorite track on the album is The Darkening. I wanted to ask if you could speak on that track.
Yeah, yeah, that was the second song I did for the album. The first one I wrote was When All Stellar Light Is Lost, but then it was The Darkening, and I really tried. That is a song where I wanted to capture the listener. I wanted the listener to be within the song forever. I didn't want the listener to wait for the next song after it. So that's why it has a bit of length to it. You know.
And another one that my favorite tracks on it is Fields of Nadir. I wanted to ask if you could speak on that one as well.
Yeah. Uh, Fields of Nadir. Um, that one. Uh, I was thinking about writing something of a little bit more generic black metal character, but I don't know if I succeeded because it became quite progressive and it has quite a lot of elements, but I really tried to keep it within the genre. But then the outro of that song, and it just came along in a way I could not really steer. So it guided itself out of the boundaries of it.
And do you feel that speaking on that track, could we look? Can we expect more material that will flow as that song does?
I don't know. I don't know. I think if I plan what to write, it will lose the wild core of what I think black metal is.
Mhm.
I want In Aphelion to be whatever In Aphelion wants to be. I don't really want to form it within a extrovert vision, so to speak. I want the music to become what the music is. I really see the songs as their own entities. I don't necessarily see me as the creator. I might put all the visions together to something understandable, but I prefer to look upon the songs as you look upon your children. They are your offspring, but they have their
Sure.
own will, so to speak. And I think my music also has its own will. So even if I thought that The Fields of Nadir is a successful song and I want more songs like that, it's like saying your first kid is your favorite kid and you want more kids like that. But it will not happen, you know.
Right. And the videos that you released were very immersive. I wanted to ask, how did they go for you? And Were there any moments of like things wasn't working out? Did you have a period of that?
While filming the videos, or
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, um, the Fields on a Deer video I filmed myself. That was a do-it-yourself project, which I'm not a professional movie maker of any sort, but I think something interesting happens when the artist who writes the songs and try to channel the ideas also is behind the camera. So I wanted to try if I could do something with this, and I feel that this genre is a bit of a second or third wave of punk rock, which is do it yourself with a do it yourself attitude. So I wanted to go for it, and I just was filming, but there are so many hours of material that I did not use. So there was a lot of scenes that I thought this will be great, and it was just like corny, or you felt like this does not fit in. It's a perfect scene, but it does not fit in
Mhm.
with the song. It makes
Sure.
no sense. So it's like Kill Your Darlings. It's quite hard to cut some favorite things away. And for the other videos, the when all stellar light is lost and Winter Moon's Gleam was filmed early by professional filmmakers last year. And when we filmed that, everything went wrong. Our drummer, he slept over in Holland. He didn't arrive to Sweden. We didn't have light. We didn't have the photographer. Uh, we also started fires inside of a big building to make this environment, and it was I mean, we were so lucky that the fire brigade didn't come. So that was a hysterical event, really. That in the end it went good, but right then it was a disaster. But I think things should not be too smooth in this genre. Then you can do something else. It's the struggle and it's the strive that really puts the passion and into this music. And I think that can be heard. I think you can see that of the end
Sure.
result if it's made by people who don't stop for a little problem.
Right. And speaking on the album and the release, what do you feel will be the next step for the band? Will the band hit the road?
Right now, we're speaking about touring a bit, and we're booking gigs, but also because some of the members are in Necrophobic, and Necrophobic is a highly touring and playing band. We are booked through all this year next year, so it's a bit hard to find time to also do In Aphelion.
Hmm.
For me, I really, really love playing live with In Aphelion, and I want it to happen. I don't need it to happen as much as with Necrophobic. I think when we do, it can be special events.
Hmm.
And I never want to feel that In Aphelion is another day on work. In Aphelion
Right.
should be special because it's in some way, I mean, I started another band, although I do not really need it, but at least we have so many obligations with Necrophobic. There's so much pressure on that band to do this and that. And I
Sure.
want In Aphelium to be something that is only for the passion, with no obligations. So we will play, but we will not play very much. And I'm really fine with that. But we're talking about touring right now.
And on that lines, is it possible that one day you will do a dual show in which one band will open for the other?
We have at several times actually,
Oh, really?
but yeah, but on festivals. So there have been more than one band in between.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know how I see it with like only in a feeling necrophobic because we are three members that are the same in both bands. So that would be like just exchanging the singer and the drummer, and it would be not make any sense. But I think on a festival bill, when one band plays Friday and next band Saturday, or we play early on the day within a field and late like headline with Necrophobic, that makes perfect sense. But just with a small club gig with two or three bands, I think maybe that will not happen.
And I wanted to ask you about your musical development. At what age did you begin?
At 9, but I started to play guitar at school when I was 9, but I was very interested in music before. Music has always been something special. Playing vinyls has always been something special, and I think I listen differently to the music compared to my friends who were not into playing, and I try to analyze the orchestral passages and what I heard and how the sounds are made. I was very interested. How do you make this distortion sound? How do you play guitar solos? Things that other 9-year-old boys and girls don't really think about. So
Sure.
I think it's in my blood, really. My mother also is very interested in music, and she during the 60s she went to loads of concerts and followed all these bands and the whole pop and rock and roll wave that came. She was very much into. So I think I got it by the blood, really.
And behind you, I see an impressive rack of guitars there,
Yeah.
varying and varying, very different in sound. Um, when you
Yeah.
are recording, do you have a go-to style and guitar that you're using to create?
Usually I get I listen to some music that inspires me to pick up a certain guitar. Right now, I listen a lot to early Aerosmith and stuff like that, and then
Mhm.
the go-to is a Les Paul. Then it inspires
Right.
me to create on a Les Paul. When I listen to Michael Schenker or Accept, I pick down a Flying V, and sometimes. I listen to more blue stuff, and then I use a Strat. So it's what I get inspired by. But some guitars also inspires me to write the whole album. Like Reaper Dawn was written entirely on a Jackson soloist from the 80s. It was a guitar I bought that just it yeah the songs just came out of it. I couldn't
Mhm.
stop it. And when I have written all the songs for Reaper Dawn, I could not take another tone on the guitar. It was dead. So I sold it. The purpose of the guitar was over. So I just sold it. I felt, well, this was for that album, but I will
Right.
never play it again. And that has happened on more than one occasion, actually, that I feel like this guitar was for the album. Now someone else has to take it. It's like Aladdin's lamp. You get your three
Mhm.
wishes. I
Sure.
get my 10 songs, and then it's
Right.
no matter how I rub it, there will be no more songs. Then someone else has to go, and someone else has to get it. So I've done that 4 or 5 times. Just bought a guitar, made an album, and just sold the guitar.
And along your musical journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that's been given to you along the way?
Uh, I think I think to absolutely never give up. I think that came from at one time. I think it was Rolling Stones that said that to the Aerosmith guys at one place that you can hate each other as much as you want, but you never quit. You never ever quit. And realizing that it's not. Uh, a very enjoyable journey at all times. I mean, you're really almost like you're married to four other guys, uh,
Mhm. Absolutely.
and but without the fun part. It's just work,
Right.
and and that takes a strain. I mean, the first years you party a lot and you're best friends and stuff like that, but then you have to be productive and you have to keep on putting out albums. And when your band grows and it comes in money and you have obligations, then you have to be able to work together. And just because you can drink beer together, it doesn't mean you're good business partners.
Sure.
And I think that don't give up and don't quit because it changes. Otherwise, it would be easy when the party years are over. It would be easy to move on to the next thing. But I think you should stay with what you have, and try to follow the new times and how it develops. And that's also with your instrument. Don't leave your instrument. You have to keep on struggling with it. I wake up every day and think, I hope I can learn something new today. And
Mhm.
most of the days I don't, but I wake up with that urge to learn something new. So I get up, I get a cup of coffee, take a guitar into my knees, and I try to perfect some skills, or I listen to new stuff, and I try. Fuck, I don't know how to play this. This is really crazy stuff. So uh, I think, even though most of the times it's hard work, just keep on pushing, really.
And in being in the business as you have, I wanted to ask you, as a person, what moments are the most satisfying to you? Is it the creative process? Being on stage? Is it what satisfies you most?
When when I record the demos for the songs, and I get that last piece of the puzzle, and I have my headphones on, I listen to the demo, and very often I realize that I sit with my hands over my head like this, and that is when I know that the song is ready. Because I struggle, I change stuff, I record and I record, but then when this moment happens, then it's such a release. It's such a Then the song really comes to life. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
birth of your kid, it's the birth of the song. That is the absolute most pleasurable moment. I like playing live. I like to have a copy of the album in my hands, but that is nothing compared to when the song is born. That is really what I live for. That moment when I'm actually on my own, and I just feel that, shit, this song came together. This is
sure.
something I really like. Then that's the greatest moment.
And what is the best way to get a merchandise and physical copy of this album?
Oh, I mean, it should be in stores. Uh, I must say, I'm not really into that bit of the business. One of the reasons we signed to Central Media is because in reality I'm a quite bad salesman. I'm a good musician and I can write songs, but when it comes to the business of releasing the album and promoting it, you can buy it here, you should be there. That is where what I kind of stay away from, and I let the record label do their stuff. But it should be in stores. I don't know about the States. I know it's copies are there, but I don't know. I mean, in Europe you can buy it everywhere, really,
Okay.
in all record stores. So it's not the underground product. But I don't know about worldwide, if it has to be imported, if certain stores imports it, and so on. But I know you can buy it from Central Media for sure.
And I also wanted to ask you, um, we had spoken and you had mentioned that you had a wealth of material in
Mm.
working on this project. Would you feel that you have enough material for another release at the moment?
No, not at the moment, but I have. I think I have 5 or 6 embryos of songs for the next album. Some are finished, I think, and some are ideas I want to work through again. But I think early next year it will be time to record the next album.
And I also wanted to ask you, I asked you one side of the coin. I want to ask you the other. If you
Mm.
was speaking to an artist that was striving to start a career, what would be the
Mm.
advice that you would give them?
Uh, don't expect immediate success. It took me 30 years to come here. It takes some time to build up a name, and try to be true to yourself. try to be true to what you like. Don't ever try to do something that you think someone else will like. Do what you like.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what would that message be?
Listen to whatever music you really like. Do not try to fit in within uh, some rules or the people, especially in black metal. Do not follow rules. Make the rules yourself. That's what it's about.
Well, I wanted to thank you, my friend, for creating an album
Mm.
that I enjoyed from top to bottom. It was literally hard for me to pick two songs to discuss because I
Ah,
think the album has amazing flow and
yeah.
is full of great moments. And I wanted to thank you personally for creating something that is so enjoyable. And I look forward to the next album.
Thank you very much. Really glad you liked it.
Thank you, my friend, and you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, the same to you. Okay.
Cheers, my friend.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, cheers. Bye.